towards. That's great. I wouldn't plan on being there to watch the launch of Artemis in 2024, but that's the way it goes. So a very bright past in what we've been able to do, incredible accomplishments, a lot of changes taking place, and the more we find out, the more we see that need for change, and I'll bring that back to Ashland. You know, incredible what and I like to say a relatively small group, but you know, you don't do these things in a singular way. I'll bet the mayor and the superintendent would tell you that it's not a singular effort. It's a whole group of people, a lot of dedicated people making this town into something really, really special. And I still very, very proud to Mr. Ashland, my hometown. Thank you very much. I think we have a few minutes left. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, and I trust me, I've heard most of them. So if you can, I know you have a mic back there. You can
we got one here.
You can shout.
What was the most difficult aircraft you flew?
Most difficult aircraft. I had some flights in the F-8 Crusader. That was a little bit squirrely. The whole configuration, and the pilot sat a long way back from the nose, and when you came into landing, you actually had to skew it a little bit so you could see the center line on the deck. It was a difficult airplane to fly. You know, by and large, the more modern aircraft are actually easier to fly than some of the older aircraft that were there, and the emphasis, the complexity in modern airplanes is on the computer systems, the weapon systems, and things like that are really a bear to manage. Good question. Yes?
Is the junk in space becoming a problem?
The junk in space is indeed a problem, and we don't really have a good solution for it. I mean, I've seen some schemes. And people are serious about this because it's a serious problem. Musk is putting up a constellation of 1,000 or so satellites, and we're going to fly through that. Now, it's not as bad as somebody characterized to me one time. It would be like putting a peanut on a football field, and what's your chance of stepping on the peanut? Well, not too great, but it's still there, and so it is a problem. And the trouble is, it doesn't have to be a very big peanut, as it turns out. You know, you're working the equation of the force is equal to 1/2 mv squared, and the key there is small mass, a few ounces literally, a marble traveling at 25 times the speed of sound is a dangerous weapon. And when you do that 1/2 mv squared thing, you're taking your velocity term, 25,000 miles per hour. You're squaring that term. Small mass, big velocity, big problem. So we've got to somehow figure out how to deal with that. Good question. We're not there. Not a clue, really. Anything else?
A couple years ago, they brought the Artemis here to go to Glen.
Yeah, they did some testing up there.
They flew it in on that, they call it the Ducky.
The Ducky.
Have you ever had a chance to fly that, or did you fly it?
I could fly anything, thank you. Test pilot's motto, if I can start it, I can fly it. So that actually is a very unique airplane to fly, and that big, if you've not seen it, it looks like a big duppy. And it carries this oversized, the interesting thing is the only airplane, you really have to train hard, and it is a very difficult airplane to fly, as it turns out. You take off, the main gear lift off first, and the nose wheel stays on the ground until you get to a little higher speed, and then you can lift the whole thing off. But it's like a flying cloud. I mean, it's huge. But no, I've never flown it. Yes, sir?
One of my questions is the problem we have with greatest pollution is light pollution. One of the greatest pollution, unnecessary. And I know you tell us what you've seen on how bad it really is in space.
Yeah, light pollution, there are very few, are you familiar with the designated dark areas around the world? So for those that are not, there are designated where they go out and they actually measure the light spectrum, and it has to be so absolutely pitch black. Astronomers love it, and so that would be the key to that. And it's like a lot of other things, it's getting worse before it gets better. We're not going in a positive direction with light pollution. I mean, I have a second home out in the country in North Alabama, and I just love to go out and we're pretty much away from, I mean, there's still some, but it's a lot better than downtown Los Angeles, so yeah, but it's a real problem, and I know people are concerned about it. I don't see anything happening then. I mean, we can't begin to deal with the other pollution that's taking place on our planet, and so light pollution, I'm sure, is way down the list of things we're going to be taxed. Sad to say, but that's it. Anything else? Well, thank you all. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on.
Can you comment on the U.S.-Russian cooperation in space?
Yeah, the answer I'm going to give you today is different than the one I would have given you yesterday, as it turns out. I had actually talked to one of my friends in the space program, and as far as working with the Russian Space Agency, that had gone extremely well. You know, particularly the technical people, the scientists and engineers and cosmonauts, they don't want to get, I mean, I'll just leave it, they don't want to be involved in politics. They want to do their job and do it. So we've had a long-standing, excellent working relationship with Russia on that. And then, I think it was just this morning that they announced that we actually were going to bring one of the American astronauts back on the Soyuz return vehicle, and the Russians said no. So we're going to have to send another vehicle up, probably one of the SpaceX vehicles to bring back the crew. And that's politics. That is so sad. But it's the world we live in today. Look at that. Oh, working with the Chinese on that? Actually, we've had a fair degree of, given the difference in political issues and all that, we've had a fair degree of success in at least opening a dialogue with the Chinese Space Agency. No real working together yet, but at least we're talking. That's a starting point. So, you look at this, and I mean, this is almost hard to say given what's happening in the world today, but you know, we all live on the same planet. We all face the same kind of problems. Damn it, we just need to get over ourselves and work together to solve the bigger problems and put Putin's egos on the way. Is there another someone else having another? Yeah, yes, sir.
As a mission specialist, did you ever cross-train to pilot? Could you land it?
Yeah, I did. There were a few of us that fell in that category. We were selected as pilots, but flew as mission specialists. The reason for that is we had a little bit of an issue early on in particular. Some of the mission specialists that had been selected from academia didn't embrace the teamwork and the crew content. They were used to being individual contributors, and they did not. It took them a while to embrace the teamwork concept. And so they took some of us who had a strong teamwork background and infiltrated us into the mission specialist role and working with I mean, people were very, very capable, and it was not an overt effort. It's just that they, if you talk to people who've been independent contributors from academia and stuff like that, they very closely protect their papers and things like that. Nothing against it, it was just a different approach. And so that was the way we were doing it. I think nowadays that's not as prevalent. That was why we did that. Yes, sir.
How much vibration did you feel on your shuttle launches?
A lot of vibration. I mean, you wouldn't believe, you could really feel, from a structural engineering standpoint, you could actually feel the different modes of vibration as you lifted off. It was absolutely incredible. Noise background on orbit. Now, when the engines were running, I mean, it was incredible. You really had to strain to hear things inside the car. And we had, foam sound protectors and all that they wore, and a closed loop communication system, and it was still difficult to get through the communication process. And there's no real way to, as long as you're using chemical fuels and the like, and you basically have a controlled explosion, the noise is going to be on orbit, about the same level of noise as you have in an airliner. So about a 60 dB hum in the background. And you got used to it. Yes, sir.
About how many gallons would, one of those engines take?
Well, we burned all 550,000 gallons, so 3 engines, you divide that by 3 and you got your answer. The QED. That means you get to figure out the math yourself. Thank you all very much. I'm sorry.
You worked on SCS-free for space shuttle that use unpainted external fuel tank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, unpainted.
Well, actually, who was the idiot that thought of painting them in the first place? It took not 500 gallons, 500 pounds of paint to cover that external tank. It gave you absolutely nothing except to change the color. So instead of a nice shiny white, we went back to that pukey orange, but that's all right. We had 500 pounds of payload we could do with it. It was just a mistake from an engineering standpoint. Yeah, so, again, thank you all very much. Thank you for
Thank you all for coming this evening. It's been such a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us these past few days, Colonel Springer. He's had quite an adventure with us here in Ashland. His time has been taken up, and he said he didn't like to sleep in space. Do you like to sleep in Ashland? Because I don't think that you've gotten any, right?
what little I got, yes, it was very enjoyable.
Yes. So thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you, Colonel Springer, and everybody please have a safe trip home. Thank you.
Hold him to it, Dad. Did that work out all right for you?
Let me know. She's so shy.
Get some feedback.
He has one in his hand.
Yeah, I got you. I'll do that. My pleasure, you bet.
I know.
Hi there, young lady. How are you doing?
Did you get a picture?
I've been very recording. I just like to ask him some questions. I'm an independent journalist, so
Oh, cool.
yeah, I've been around the world doing this for a while now.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Around the world a few times,
Yeah.
too, I think. Yeah.
We're like taking a while.
Just don't know if he's been as far as I have.
Come on down.
Come on, don't be shy. Go ahead and grab a picture.
Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
Thank you.
You're about to go into space camp?
He's so shy. She wants to be an aerospace engineer, so we'll see. Yeah, she's awesome.
He's for the crowd. You know who he is?
Well, thank you. It was great. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
What's kind of the simmering background around the surface of the prospect of space station?
Well, it's probably not, the real thing is that we've been using fossil fuels, basically chemical fuels, forever. We need something different, whether it's different power or some whatever it turns out to be. We need and we all know it. It's not that easy, but actually there is, in fact, one of my temperatures functioning model is proving to be very successful. For you.
Especially staff in space.
The trouble with the space is, we're going to spend something. One of the really absence of that. And that's why we're having all this thing.
I'm gonna let these two jump in here and take a picture, okay? Alright.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you have a station that's spun in the habitats, maybe you would have like the hub.
If you could have a de-spun area, it would be possible, but I'm not sure anybody's going to invest a lot of money. Somebody comes to think judiciously. Hi there. We continue to follow you with the story. I don't want to burst your bubble. I personally don't believe in it. Everybody has their own philosophy about that. So.
Are you aware of the TR3Bs, sir?
I'm sorry?
Are you aware of the TR3B crafts of the government? I've got video right here on my phone of them.
Yeah.
They're massive triangular craft that do not use conventional methods of flight. I've been darn near this close to them. They've stalked me, so I'm not asking, I'm telling. There's a difference. So you can say you've been to space, but I can say otherwise, and I can tell you about these craft that the government aren't telling us about.
Could be things I haven't.
Sure there is. Just like
I certainly would not.
You'd have to see them though.
Never say never type thing.
Well, I got them right here on my phone. I can show the video.
I have no reason.
They're right here in town.
Thank you so much for coming.
And it just kills me as a Star Trek. I think more of when you it's just kind of one of those astronomers and the biologists kind of get together a little bit.
So I just want to tell you that this is my dad.
Oh, goodness, okay.
Oh, very good. Johnson Space Center, and she actually trains the astronauts to put the suits on. So,
oh, good, okay.
But thank you so much for coming.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for being here.
I used to work with your mom.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, actually, your mom, she worked right down there at Weiss.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a store. I suspect it's not it.
They just recently put that down. Anyway, she was talking about you. Oh,
yeah, moms are like that.
Excuse me, can I ask what you're doing? Would you do
Minding my own business.
No?
Sir,
Well, no,
don't
if
touch
you
me.
wanna-
Don't touch
if
me
you
again.
wanna be that
Back
way,
up.
we'll get you out of
Back
here.
up. You will not touch me. I have rights, inalienable rights. You do not own them. Back off me.
Let's go ahead.
Don't touch me.
Then
Then do that. I'm a journalist. I have every right. This is public. You cannot tell me what to do in public.
It's not public.
This is yes.
It's a public facility. Doesn't
That's
mean you can do whatever
right.
you want.
I'm a taxpayer. I can do whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do.
I sure
Back
can by
off.
calling the police.
Do that. Help yourself. They're going to tell you the same thing.
No, they won't.
You're not in charge of me.
I'm in charge of this building.
Do I look like the building? I cannot trespass.
responsible for everything
I
that
am
happens
invited here
in
just
this
like everybody.
building.
Okay, I'm recording this
For what purpose?
because I'm an independent journalist. Who are you to stop me? You didn't stop any of these guys.
doesn't want it videotaped.
I don't care. This is public. If you can witness it in public, according to the Supreme Court, you can. If I can video, if I can see it in
This is not the
if
place
I can
and
see it in
time to
public,
make
you
to
don't
make
determine
some
what
kind of
time
a
anything.
stand.
I'm
Yes,
not
we
making a stand.
can.
I'm here to get
we
information
can.
as a journalist. Do you understand that?
Then you could have gone through the same channels
What
that the
channels?
other journalists did.
No, I don't. You don't own me. Nobody owns me.
You could have gone
This
through
was
the
a
same
public
channels.
invite. This was a public invite, right? Am I wrong? Is the public allowed here?
The public's absolutely right.
Then don't tell me I'm singled out. You need to back up off me and de-escalate. Okay? De-escalate and walk away because you're not in charge of me. You get that?
No,
Are you
no.
a Freemason? Is
I'm
that
not
your
gonna-
problem?
I'm not gonna debate.
That's right. You're not going to
I'm
tell
not
the
gonna
truth
debate.
because you people lie.
I'm not going to debate.
You're a liar, so get out of my face.
I'm
Don't
not
talk.
gonna
I don't consent to conversation or contract with you. Do you understand that? I am the master of my house, not you.
This is
You
not
understand?
your house.
This is my house.
This is not
You do
your
not own
house.
it.
This is
This
not
right
your
here,
house.
this is my house. You do not own it. You do not have rights greater than my rights over me. Do you understand that?
This is not the
What's
place
wrong with
for
your
that
mind?
debate.
Then don't come to me with your problems. Go somewhere else.
This is
Talk to
not
these
my
people.
problem.
Where did the astronaut go? Yeah, look at you.
You've driven him out.
I driven him out. Why don't you get a crying towel? Why don't you get a sobby? Here, I got one. I got one right here for you. Let me get this out for you, big boy. Call the police on me and threaten me. They're servants. I am the master of the house. None of you servants own me. Not the cops, nobody. Here's your towel if you want to cry on it.
The drive,
You better back up off me. This guy's stalking me. Hope you guys are getting this on recording because this guy is stalking me. That's illegal, dude. You're a journalist, right? No, he is. I said, you're a journalist, right? So am I. But he isn't doing this to you. He's doing it to me, you notice?
Wow, okay.
They asked if anybody wanted to ask questions. I let it go the whole time. I never asked a question. It bothered anything, did I? You got it all on video. So do I. So this guy's stalking me. The difference is you want to impose your will.
He followed protocols and rules.
You ever heard of the Constitution? It's a piece of paper that guarantees us our rights that you can't control them. Not you, not the police, nobody. This was open to the public, Pumpkin. You better suck it up, Sally. Talk to me like you own me.
At some point in time, I'll.
You obviously don't know who you're toying with, big boy. I didn't disrespect this man one time. And is that a misdemeanor or is it a felony? Tell me which it is. Because right now you're infringing upon my journalistic rights. All I'm doing is recording.
You don't have the right to record in here. This is a public
I do.
building,
Everybody's doing it.
but you're
If it's in public,
trespassing.
Supreme Court's already
You are
stated,
trespassing.
no, you can't
You are
trespass in public.
trespassing. Yes, you are, because we've asked you to leave. You're
You
not
didn't
leaving.
ask me to leave. You
Yes,
got
I
up
did.
on me
No, I
trying
didn't.
to get on my phone.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't
you
do anything
did.
to your phone. I asked you to
You
leave.
come right up on me.
No, I did not.
You can't make me leave because this
Listen,
is a
just let her
public
talk.
invite, okay? This is a public invite, and you
And the
can't...
others followed the protocol and the rules.
Okay, Supreme Court's already stated, I can do whatever I want. You do not own my rights.
It was fast.
See, stop hitting me with
I'm
that.
so grateful for you to come.
Stop hitting me. You ever see anything so... This is his bigger, better man move. You see this? This is how adults act. Because I'm asking questions. You asked questions, they didn't do that to you, did they? You got right up on the podium. Don't call the police on me for asking questions. That takes nerve. Right? Fear only comes from hiding things. You understand me? When you're hiding something, you fear, so you act that way. If truth is the case, if you want to be investigated, don't you? If I'm telling the truth, do I fear investigation? No. I just want to talk to this man. He has a lot of claims to make, a lot of extraordinary claims. Right? Have you been to space? Have you been to space? That's an extraordinary claim. I just want some answers. That's all I want. Try and get all physical with me. That takes nerve. I'm an independent journalist. I've been doing this for years. I've been all over. This is what they do to you. As soon as you ask questions, they want to turn around and get physical with you. They call the police. This is public, brother. I can't make you leave. I can't say, well, you got to follow my rules. Who am I to govern you? Well, we don't like what you're saying. Suck it up, Sally. I got a towel for you to cry into. You know? If there's no corpus delicti, no victim, no crime. If you don't like... it was simple stuff. I'm trying to prove that these people are lying. They know this. They know they're lying. They ain't been to space. You think they've been to space? Come on, man. You can't get an amateur rocket past low Earth. I can't think of the guy's name. Sean something. He's a NASA representative. I could dig up the video, but he was explaining on a drawing board, drafting up, showing how they have to get past the challenges of the Van Allen belts, right? Before they can get past low Earth orbit. That's why the space station's always in low Earth orbit. And he just explained that it's in a buoyancy pool where they train in. We don't train in water to do in free space. You see what I'm saying? You got to think critically. Just stop letting me. If I was here to show up and tell you all these extraordinary things, you're not going to believe me. Unless I got this big organization that makes $62 freaking million a day. That's a lot of money for cartoon sunshine. Because prove to me they ain't cartoons. The blue marble you look at, that's a painting. I'll show you the guy who talks about it. Got the video of it. You ever seen a funny thing happen on the way to the moon? Got it right here on my phone. It's a documentary proving they didn't go to the moon. 7. Also 6, 4, and 1. Yeah.
6, 4, and 1.
I'm the only player in this game who knows what's going on. You've heard of flat Earth, haven't you? Yeah, that's what they're scared of. That's why they do this stuff. They're frightened. Earth. Yeah. Yeah, they don't like this. They get scared. Because I just want to ask questions. Just answer me. If you make extraordinary claims, I want some extraordinary evidence, right? That's $62 million a day. I better be giving you some real evidence and answers when you ask for it, right? Because that's tax dollars, sunshine. That didn't just get made and get... No. That's money you've been given to produce something. What have they done in the last 60 years? Give you a sweet foam bed? Velcro? Is this a joke? Think about it. I can't go to the Don Pettit, you familiar with that twit? Yeah, he's Mr. NASA. Look him up. He does a video talking about, I'd love to go to the moon. I'd go back in a nanosecond. Only problem is we destroyed that technology and we can't go back. It's too painful to build it back. He just said it was Commodore 64 computer shit, right? If you can't rebuild that, dude, you're screwed, all right? This is far more tech than that was. Again, let's just be critical thinkers, not arguers or fight. I'm not here to argue with you, you know what I mean? I just want answers, and somebody's going to come up with them. And nobody has. This is what they do every time. They'll physically remove you if they can. They say, watch, see what these cops do. These people ain't playing. They're full of hatred, son. Oh, yeah, they do every time.
Why do you think they call them?
Because they're scared shitless. Again, truth, fears no investigation, right? You don't look scared. You ain't afraid of me. You ain't saying somebody get this guy away from me. You ain't claiming that I just ran somebody off, are you? That's a lot of extraordinary claims for nothing. I'm doing the same thing as you guys, only I'm being a little vocal. I'm explaining to you what's going on, right? See, look right behind you. Turn around, look. So they get mad and they want to impose their will. They're a bunch of Freemasons and a cult. Now, I know this. That's why I told you I'm not giving my name, because that's a birth. You know what your birth certificate is? That is a contract. You weren't given that. None of that's a contract you're in with this U.S. government who's been signed over to the Federal Reserve, which is a corporation or business, back in 1936. You're owned like cattle. That's what that is. Your birthright certificate is supposed to give you your rights because you're master of the house. That is your servant standing over there. You understand me? So when he comes over to tell you to do something, hey, these people, they have no right for that. Your rights don't stop where my beliefs begin. Right? Just the Constitution is just a piece of paper that tells you in writing, so I don't have to explain to this guy. He takes an oath every day of the week to put on that uniform and protect and serve my rights, my freedoms, my liberties that shall not be infringed upon, foreign or domestic. You understand that? So me just sit here and say, no, you better pick this up and get the hell out of here or else. I just threatened you. And that's your freedoms and your liberties to lay that there, do whatever you want, right? Set your camera up right there because that's your camera. How can I tell you what to do? Well, the law said, well, there's protocol. And you use your stuff at protocol, right? In that dark spot, right? Because you're going to do your job, aren't you? You ain't threatening nobody. You ain't trying to hurt nobody, are you? Just here to do your thing. So when somebody approaches you, see, now, that's what these people don't want to get. I've been there. I fought for my life. and not in these stupid little wars where they back me and I've been attacked. You understand? I've been in places you don't want to go because of these crazy people. They know who I am. Believe that. That's why they're afraid. He knew as soon as he come over and sat beside me. If you notice that, and sat down there, I knew as soon as he did, he was there to stalk me. They always do this shit. Like I say, your birthright certificate is a contract with this to let them know and you know what's going on, and nobody can take that from you. You know what I mean? So your birth certificate is your ID and everything. You don't need more of this shit. They're just selling you your rights back in little increments. You get it? I just wanted him to answer some questions. I figured I was going to let this end, you know, because everybody's got their questions. You think I was going to go up and ask him if he could explain to me, like this video, like I showed you, funny thing happened on the way to the moon. They show how they fake going to the moon the first time. Okay, they've never been there. You can't get past low Earth orbit. You cannot cross the ionosphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, the troposphere. None of that can be passed through. Okay, that Van Allen belts, layers of that bullshit would melt everything, and then heat builds up. You can't disperse the heat. You know what I mean? It just keeps building and building. So you're going to turn into a baked potato in like a piece of 2 minutes. Okay. So how do you get past that to get to outer space to turn around and come back? But bigger than that, the Earth is... Have you studied the heliocentric model theory? Okay, I've mastered it. There's nothing he can teach me about heliocentrism, nor about any other form that, you know, people claim. There's a lot of theories. But there's anything he can't explain to me about the heliocentric model theory. I'll teach him about it. Now, what's going on is you're supposed to be on a ball that's almost 8,000 miles across. That's not very big. It's rotating at 1,039 miles an hour. They're telling you that's happening, but it's so big you can't notice it. Name something because of its size that you're not going to notice it's moving, especially at that speed. What only rotates once a day? Doesn't matter how many times it rotates, it's still cranking at 139 or 1,039 miles an hour. Plus, while it's doing this number, it's shooting around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. Lord Almighty, that's speed. But you can't sense it because you're so tiny and it's so big. Dude, you're motionless. Look around you. Nothing's moving. Okay? Watch your skies. Everything's dead still. You ever been in a plane? Okay, I've been over 40,000 feet. There's nothing moving. It's flat as a pancake. Okay? Every pilot that I've been with agrees that. I've never seen the curvature. I don't know what you're talking about. When you confront them just like I'm talking like this. Now, you talk to them in places where they got to show their face. They won't do that because they're all in this big fucking club. And they're all scared to talk about it. I don't know what your objective perspective on it is, but
I've got no objective other than to report the story tonight.
Right, yeah.
This guy came from Florida where he lives and talked to his alma mater.
And like I say, you see how they react. All I did was ask questions. And that way until it was over. I was down there just videoing. And that clown shoe comes up and gets in my face and literally tries to put his hands on me. Now, who does that unless you're afraid? Because I'm exposing them. Again, do you want to lose $62 million today for giving cartoons out?
I think they just want to have a nice event.
No, they don't. Dude, if you're telling the truth, you're never going to impose a will upon somebody as if...
May I interrupt here, please?
Pardon?
I guess you've been asked to leave, sir.
He's after...
Have you been asked to leave by
after he followed me out here, yeah, and then
Okay.
they said something about calling the police, so I figured I'd wait on you guys to see what was going on.
Okay. Do you have an ID on you, sir?
No.
You don't have an ID on you?
No, that got stolen with my money.
Well, we're gonna get some information from you, okay? Just so we know who you are.
Well, I didn't commit any crime, so.
Well, you're trespassing with this.
No, I'm not
You were asked to
trespassing.
leave, yeah.
No, I wasn't asked to leave. He started harassing me. I got it on video.
Okay, well, that's fine. Dr. Merritt, who is in charge of the Ashland
Okay,
City
but
Schools,
this is public,
asked you
right?
to leave.
Yeah, well, I can
He asked
leave
you to
them now that I'm here.
Well, I need to know who you are now, because you're in an investigation.
No, he's
Sir.
in the investigation.
Sir, I'm simply asking for your information, that's all.
I don't
okay?
have any information.
You do. You have a name and a
You're a
date of birth.
servant, correct?
You
You're
have
a
a
public
date-
servant. Did you take an oath?
Sir,
Did you take an
I'm
oath,
not going to
sir?
sit here and argue with you.
Then don't.
Okay.
I'm being.
Okay, I'm going to figure out who you are one way or the other.
Okay, what's
so I'm simply
what's that
asking
gonna, what's
your
that
name
gonna
and
do
date of
for you
birth.
though when you find out what my name and date of birth is? What's that going to do for you?
Well, I'm going to find out, make sure one, you don't have any warrants, and
No,
who you are to add you to the call, okay? Because you are under an this
No.
is an investigation.
A
Okay.
hearsay claim by somebody who's imposing their will
There's no
upon me.
hearsay. You've been asked to leave, and you're still here.
No.
okay? Sir?
I was threatened.
I'm gonna ask you one more time for your name and date
He
of
didn't
birth,
tell me
okay?
who he was. See, I know who you are. 'Cause,
Okay.
you see your
Do
uniform?
you have a name and a date of birth?
Okay, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. When somebody comes up to you and threatens you,
We're past that.
and they don't
We
give
are
you
here-
any reason that they're threatening you,
When you say
that's,
threaten, what did he
he come up
threaten
and
you
told me
with?
to get out of here. He didn't
Okay.
say, sir, this is who I am, I'll do here.
Okay,
None
we're
of that.
past
He
that.
just,
I'm done with that, okay? I need to know your name and
Do
Who's
you
your
have that
supervisor?
on your
Yeah,
video?
yeah.
Let's see, what exactly
well,
he
I'd have to
told
stop
you.
this, and I don't want to stop recording because
Okay, well, then I
you
need
guys
your
here,
name and
I feel
number.
threatened by you guys.
Well, I need
because
your name
clearly
and
you're
number.
here thinking you have greater rights over my rights than I do,
We-
right?
Sir,
Is that-
I need your name and number.
I understand what you're saying. I'm telling you,
Your name and date of birth, actually.
if there's no court, you ever heard of corpus delicti? If there's no victim, there is no crime. What crime is it to speak? Because that's no trespassing has
Sir,
to be
right here, on
yes,
me,
sir.
okay?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one more time for your name and date of birth, okay? That's it.
I can't even tell you anything because I don't
Okay.
have an ID. I've lost my ID. I've lost
I'm
my
done.
money.
We're done with this. We've asked you politely. You've been asked to leave.
I told you I would. You had.
Well, you're under
I had to
arrest.
wait
You have the
for
right
you.
to remain silent.
I had
Anything
to
you
wait
say
for
can
you.
and will be used against you in court of law.
This is-
You have the right
I do not
to
consent.
attorney,
I do
and
not
you have a.
consent. I do not consent.
You don't have to consent.
Yeah, I know that, but you don't have the right to.
You have
This is
the right to an attorney.
I get that.
Okay, and if you cannot afford one, will
Right,
be
right.
afforded
But
for you.
you're like
You
you're being
understand
physical
that?
with me. You already done
Nobody's
what
getting physical with you, okay?
I haven't done anything.
Okay, well, you're standing. You're not answering my questions, okay?
Because I don't have the information you need.
You don't know your name and date of birth? Seriously? Are we gonna go there? Seriously?
I can't even tell you my social security number.
I didn't ask for your social security
I
number.
know that, but what I'm telling you is what difference is it going to change anything when I tell you that?
Do you have a vehicle out here?
No, I don't.
How'd you get here?
Doesn't matter how I got here.
Okay.
I'm a journalist. Don't you understand any other
You're a
journalist?
journalist?
Yes.
They weren't
You
asked
can't turn
to
my
leave.
phone. I can give you permission to touch it.